Good morning, everyone. Morning, children. Okay. So can I see who is going for O levels this time on the 17th of March? Yeah, there's a lot. So I hope by now you're clear of what your paper structure is. Okay. So the reason for having this seminar is because I find a lot of children struggle with their paper too. Okay. So the aim of this seminar is for you to, because if you look at the structure of the literature paper, I'm sure all of you are aware of it. So you have two papers, paper 1, which has two sections, that's section A and section B. So in that paper, the total comes to something like 40 marks, right? So in section A, you will get 6 questions, 2 from poetry, 2 from drama, and 2 from prose. Then in section B, you have the novel question. Altogether, you get about 40 marks for that entire paper. But if you look at paper 2, it carries 4 essay questions. You have to answer 4 essay questions, which give you 60% of the marks for your exam. So if you fail to get this 60%, if you don't get a larger percentage out of this 60%, then your dream of getting an A is just futile. Okay. So what I'm aiming to do today is to give you some tips. I have identified some of the problems that you have when you're writing an essay answer. Do you know? Normally, if you take the percentage of people who get A for literature, it's quite low. I'm sure you all have heard of it, right? So the reason for that is because these students don't understand what we expect, what an examiner expects from you in paper 2. Okay? When you take about 20 answers, all of them are same. Once in a while, we'll find something that is out of the box, that is extraordinary. So that's the student who will get an A. Today, with this seminar, I am aiming to get you all to write an extraordinary answer that is different from others. Okay? So I hope you will pay attention. I will give a break in the middle. Don't worry. But I hope you will have attention till 1 o'clock. Since it's a holiday, I know it's a little bit of struggle. But we'll try to get the maximum out of this. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask me at any time. Okay? So take the maximum advantage of this opportunity. Ask any questions, clear your doubts, especially the ones who are going for O-levels on the 17th of March. Okay? So this is your last chance. Think of this as your last chance and get the maximum out of it. Okay? So we'll first take a look at. So do all of you have this tune? Okay. Turn to page number 2, where you have the format. Okay. This is a question that I've been asked by a lot of students in my class. Like, what's the format that we should follow? So, trust me when I say this, I have done literature even for my diploma and my degree. So, this is what we have been following. This is quite similar to what we have, not as advanced as what we have followed, but this is quite similar to what we can stick to get a proper mark, to get something bigger out of 50. Okay. So, this is how you have to structure your essay answer. I believe that most of you know how you will be marked in your essay answer. Okay, there are 3 main criteria that they are going to mark. First thing is your content. That's where most of you mess up actually. Okay, 7 marks are awarded for your content. What have you written? What is in your answer? That matters a lot. Okay, 7 marks out of 50. Then you get 4 marks for your organization. Organization, how you build up your answer. Okay, you can't just go and write, okay, vendor of sweets, this is the beginning, this is the end. You can't just write. Okay, your answer should have a proper flow. I have seen some students write the final events first and then the beginning at last. That's not a proper flow. Okay, so you have to start properly. Even when you're writing essays in your English exam, you have a structure, right? You have an introduction, you have the body paragraphs, then you have finally the conclusion, right? So you have to follow the same structure in this. What do we call this question? We call this an essay question. So you should have an essay structure here. Alright? So for your essay question, first of all, don't start with a quotation. Don't start with an extract. Okay? Your essay answer shouldn't have an extract from the work at first. You need to give a brief introduction to what you are going to write. You need to give a brief introduction to the work that you are referring to. Okay? So that's why your first paragraph must be an introduction. It could be about 6 to 7 lines. These are minimum criteria. You can exceed this, but please don't write below this. Okay? That's too simple and that's not what they expect. Normally, an essay answer, one essay answer should fill up this page, another, and at least half of the other page. One essay answer. Okay? This is just minimum criteria. If you can exceed, if you can manage time. Okay? Because this is a struggle with time also. Time management is important. How much time do you get for one essay question? About 30 minutes. But my advice, use only 25 minutes. Okay? When you use 25 minutes, you have 5 minutes to quickly run through your answer. Okay? You might not be able to read the entire answer, but at least those small spelling mistakes. Like I said before, you get 4 marks for organization and you get 4 marks for your grammar. Okay? Sometimes even us as teachers, we make mistakes when we are writing fast. So the best advice is you take at least 5 minutes to correct, because trust me, those mistakes, you know that's a mistake. Sometimes when you read your answer later on, you will say, how did I make such a stupid mistake? Okay, because those are errors that can happen when you are writing fast. So please try to read your answer, try to check your answer, and avoid those small mistakes. That can also help you get an A. Okay, so back to this. Your first paragraph has to be the introduction. So in your introduction, you need to first start with 1 or 2 sentences about the author, the poet, playwright, whoever it is. Write 1 or 2 sentences. Or you can put it all in one and make one sentence. I have some example answers that I have provided in the tutor as well. One example answer. So during the session also we'll go through how you can write that. Okay. So what can we write about the author? You can mention his or her nationality. Normally in your schools also in your notes, they normally give the nationality. Then they might give you the writing style. For example, if you take certain poets like William Blake. William Blake is a romantic poet. He has written a lot of odes. Ode is an address talking to something that is non-living. Okay, so he is very famous for that. So that is his writing style. You can mention that. Now, don't get me wrong. 1 or 2 sentences only. The introduction, altogether without. That's not going to be helpful. Okay, so mention only 1 or 2 sentences. Then, so you can mention nationality, you can mention the writing style, and you can mention a specific achievement. Some of these authors have won Nobel Prizes. Okay, so you can mention, if you have nothing to mention, mention at least that achievement. Okay, so that covers the part about the author. Okay, we are still in the introduction. Next, you have to mention the title of the work you are going to analyze. Then you can mention maybe the main themes, okay, the genre, anything that is specifically about that particular work. For example, if you take Nightingale and the Rose, okay. So if you're writing an answer about that question, what you can do is you can mention the nightingale and the rose. Basically, portray the theme of what? Sacrificial love and a comparison of logical or materialistic love. Okay, that's a basic idea. So that's how you write about the theme of the work. Then next you can write a little bit of a plot, a summary of what this work is about. For example, let's say you are, how many of you are doing vendor of sweets? How many? So do we have anyone doing Prince and the Pauper? Nobody? Okay. So especially when it comes to the novel, you can write a little bit about the plot. Now don't make this a place to write the entire novel, okay? I know that a lot of you try to become RK Narayan when you go to the exam and you write the entire novel. And you come home expecting I wrote pages and pages, I still didn't get an A. Okay, that's not what they expect. So plot, summary. How can we write it? So let's say for example, Vendor of Sweets, what you can write is, Vendor of Sweets is a novel which basically address the conflict between generations by using the characters of Jagan and Mali, who is a father and a son, who always come into conflict because of their different ideas, different opinions. Okay. Then you can add more. You can say Jagan, who has stuck with traditional views, who has been believing inherent beliefs, finds it very difficult to adjust to Mali's modernism. That's enough. No need to write Mali went to America, Mali married Grace, all of that in the introduction. Then your introduction is one page. Okay. Remember to have paragraphs. Okay. Sometimes I see some essay answers, the entire page, no paragraphs at all, the entire page you have written. You have to have a structure. Okay. So the first paragraph is, am I making sense? Is this clear to you? Okay. If there's anything unclear, please ask. After that, reference to question, very, very important. Please put a star next to that point. Reference to the question. What I mean by reference to the question is, imagine the question is, let's say for example, Vendor of Sweets. The question is traditionalism versus modernism. So how do you refer to the question? In this last sentence, this is your last sentence of the introduction. Okay, children? Last sentence of your introduction should repeat the question. So how do you repeat that? You can say, the Vendor of Sweets primarily focus on a clash between traditionalism and modernism. You have to mention the question there. Okay? Discuss with reference to the novel. That's not for you. Okay? So please write reference to the question. Just the question only. Okay? What they asked about. Is it all clear? All right. After that, leave one line. Okay? There's enough papers. You can ask for more. So leave one line and write the extract. First extract. Some people I see you use different colors, but don't try to use a red color and be an examiner. Try to use something like black, blue, switch between those two, that's enough. Okay? So you can write the first extract. Now when you're writing the extract, I have seen some students make this mistake. I don't know whether you've been taught this way, but if the extract is a dialogue, if it's something that they have spoken, you can use speech marks. You know what speech marks are, right? So you can use the speech marks only if it's a dialogue. But in your exam, if you're quoting a prose or a fiction, okay, you can use narrative parts as well. For example, if you talk about the lumber room, there's a lot of narrative parts. It says it was the habit of art that whenever someone fell from grace, to organize something of festive nature, and Tiba the one who, like, This is not exactly the line, but that's a narrative part. For that, don't put the speech marks. That's not a dialogue. Okay? So for that, just separately write the extract. That's enough. Okay? Is it clear? Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. First extract. Then you go to the second paragraph. Leave a line. Leave a line. Okay? Leave lines between these. Then it's clear. Second paragraph, you analyze this first extract. I have not said describe the first extract. Okay? Because the examiner knows this story. Examiner knows this poem. So you don't have to describe. Okay? What you do is you write an extract. What you normally do, you write the extract and you describe the situation. That has nothing to do with the question. For example, it could be gender stereotypes from the drama The Bear. And you take a quotation which doesn't talk anything about gender stereotypes, probably about the death, and you describe that. But the question is about gender stereotypes. You are describing deaths here. Completely wrong. Okay? So, how do you analyze? What is meant by analyze? This is why you don't get enough marks for content. Because your content is not your content. You are writing the same story, so you are copying the author. This is where you have to put your answer. So you take a quotation, you take an extract, and you analyze it. For example, you can take the fight between Smirnov and Popova, and you can describe that, especially when he calls women softer sex. Okay, you can describe and say here there's a gender stereotype. How society believes that women are supposed to be softer. However, Popova contradicts this theory by accepting the challenge for a duel. Okay, that's how you analyze. The A can in the story. That's your analysis. Do you understand? So that's how you score in content. So analyze, and you can describe the extract a little, but not the entire thing. Just analyze. Focus on details which relate to the question only. Focus on details which relate to the question only. There was one question in one of the zonal papers I believe. The character of Grace and Ambika, to compare the two characters. We don't see a lot about Ambika, but to compare the two characters. Now, when you have to compare Grace and Ambika, how can Mali come here? How can Jagan come here? You can't highlight those characters. You have to focus only on Grace and Ambika. Even if you don't like women, you have to focus on women in that question. Do you understand? So, focus only on the important information in the question. Now, you might wonder that if I focus on that, I haven't spoken about the entire story. That's completely fine. You don't have to speak about the entire story. Okay? Because then you can't write 10 essay answers. If you write the entire story, you will be writing only one essay answer. So don't worry about writing the entire story. Focus only on the question. So what I tell my students is, go to page 10. Look at the question given here. The Bear by Anton Chekhov throws light upon human inconsistencies, regardless of gender. Children, when you get an essay question like this, not like this, when you read an essay question, first thing you have to do is underline the keywords. What are the keywords here? Inconsistency, regardless of gender. Okay? Human inconsistency, that means they are changing quickly. Regardless of gender. Popova, Smirnov, both changed. Okay? So that's the key point. Why am I telling you to highlight that? Because you have to focus only on the key point. Is it clear? You have to focus only on the key point. Alright. So use the keywords. How many lines? How many lines here? 10 to 12 lines. How many lines do you normally write? 4 to 5 lines. At least 10 to 12 lines must be there. lines. Always leave lines. Second extract. Then comes your third paragraph where you will be analyzing this one. Okay? You will be analyzing this one and writing answers again 10 to 12 lines. You come to your third extract. Describe that. That's your fourth paragraph. Okay? You can go through this. I'll quickly move. Fourth extract. I told you this structure is a minimalistic structure, which means minimum you have to use 4 quotations, 4 extracts. Okay? It's better if you can use 4 extracts, minimum. Sometimes you use no extracts at all. You just completely write the story, no extracts to be found. But try to write at least 4 extracts. Then you come to your fifth paragraph and describe that. That's completely okay now. Is everything clear? Any questions up to now? All right. Then, yes, even those who are joining online, if you have any questions, please send in the chat. I hope you have got the tunes. I've sent the PDFs in the chat. So please take them. If you have any questions, please send in the chat. Okay, last paragraph. Then make even paragraph. Sixth paragraph. So how many paragraphs you should write minimum? 6 paragraphs. Okay. So 6 paragraphs would give you that amount of pages that I mentioned earlier. All right. Conclusion. Now some of you make this mistake. You describe this last extract and you finish. And you complete and then that's all. No. The correct structure of an essay is you have to have a conclusion. You have to have a last paragraph summarizing everything that you have written. Is it clear? In the last paragraph, you summarize all the key points. Now your conclusion can't be very long. It has to be only 5 to 6 lines. Okay. So summarize in brief, in short. Okay. Just mention what are the key points that you have written. Okay. Again, use the keywords. And how do you end? Very important. Very important. Listen to this. You end your introduction, the first paragraph introduction, with a reference to the question. Do you remember? You end your conclusion referring to the question one more time. Okay? So how do you do that? All of the above extracts and the key points pointed out prove that human inconsistency is regardless of gender according to the play The Bear. This is simple, in simple words what you have to write. That's your last sentence of your answer. Is everything clear? All right. Now, that's the format. Okay. Now I'm going to briefly describe some of the keys that you need to remember. Okay. Now you have a lot of questions. Now, how to use an extract? Can we write an entire stanza in a poem? Okay. So these questions I'm going to clarify here. First thing, you need to remember how the marking is done. Then secondly, you have to be careful about your language. When they tell you to discuss referring to the question, even though they ask you, do you agree? Don't start with I agree. Okay? I see some, yes, I agree. This is true. This is actually exhibited in the noun. So if you write like that, you might as well take the examiner's number and start chatting with them and become friends with them on Facebook. Because they are not expecting you to be so informal in your exam. Okay? You have to be formal. Though they ask, do you agree? No, I disagree. No, don't write that. Okay? Follow the format I mentioned. Don't ever use I, you, we. Sometimes I have seen people write this you. Okay? They're trying to chat with the examiner in the exam. So they ask, what is it? They ask rhetorical questions. They ask things like this. The number room actually exhibit that adults usually fail to understand children. Do you think that, or don't you agree that this is the case that we see practically? You ask from the examiner, don't you agree with this? So you will wait for a reply from the examiner after the exam. Okay? So that's why I said mention your name and Facebook so that you can become friends later. So don't write questions like that. like that in the, they don't need to listen to your sorrow, okay? They don't need to listen to your issues. We also face practical issues like this. We also see that women are actually mistreated in the society. This is not about your theory, okay? You don't try to be a member of the world. Who is it? United Nations, okay? Don't try to be a member of the United Nations. Don't use I, you, we. This is informal. This is spoken language, okay? Even in your essay, in your English paper, don't use this, okay? These are called first and second pronouns. So what are the things you can use? You can use they, you can use he, she, you can use it. Those are okay. But don't use any of these. Okay? Sometimes I see your conclusion is in my opinion. Nobody asks for your opinion. Okay? In my opinion, I think this drama is this. Don't write that. Okay? You have to be unbiased. You are just presenting your information. Okay? You when they tell you, for example, traditionalism, modernity, let's take that. You have to show what is traditionalism, what is modernity. You don't write in the conclusion, I think Mali is right and Jagan is wrong for not accepting modernity. No, you don't need to do that. Just present. That's it. Examine how the okay? Alright. Then do not use spoken language. I've seen you speak. Let's analyze. Let's analyze this story. So you're doing it together with each other. Let's analyze the story. Don't do that. That's spoken language. Then sometimes I say, anyways. Sometimes you write what is it? Abbreviations. What is this children? Point of view. You think the examiner use dictum? You write this abbreviation and you expect the examiner to give you marks. 4. K. So don't make that mistake of using informal language. Trust me on this. Even if you are going to mention a word like TV, that is wrong. You have to mention television. Okay? Don't use abbreviations. Use the full word, television. Okay? So that's why I said don't use stuff. Stop. I've seen a lot of people. This drama talks a lot about natural stuff. You might as well record yourself and send the answer without writing. That would have been better. So don't do that mistake. Then, like I said, don't ask the examiner questions. You can't get a reply. So might as well not do it. Don't repeat information and sentences. It is okay to repeat the keywords. Now don't get it wrong, okay? Keywords like human inconsistency and all of that you can repeat. But you can't repeat information in the sentences again and again. Okay? Like for example, you write let's say from the Nightingale and the Rose. You write about the sacrificial love of sacrifice of the Nightingale. Can't say sacrificial love of Nightingale. I have seen many students write Nightingale out of her sacrificial love for the student. Nightingale has fallen in love with the student. Honestly, I have seen it many times. Nightingale doesn't love the student. She just believes that student is a true lover. Nightingale's love for the student. So, like that, if you try to write about the sacrificial love of Nightingale, you can mention, you might mention, the Nightingale shows a big sacrifice. The Nightingale sacrifices herself for the to help the student, not for the student, to help the student. Okay. So when you write that, don't try, even if you take a similar quotation, don't repeat that sentence. Okay. Try to write it in a different point of view, in a different form. Okay. So do that. Don't repeat. Then, this one, very important. Don't explain the entire story context. Use only the relevant information. Especially in novels. You all become R.K. Narayan, Mark Twain, Tissa Besekar, and you write the entire novel. That's That's your answer. Entire novel. Jagan is a very traditional man, and you start with Jagan. Then you talk about how Mali went to America. Extracts net, only the story. Do you think the examiner doesn't know the story? They know very well. So you don't have to write the story. Please don't make that mistake. Write only the important information. Don't write the story. Is it clear? Sometimes some of the questions don't need the entire poem. Okay? Some of the questions don't need the entire poem. For example, if you take big match, if you talk about war only, there are some quotations that you don't need. Okay? For example, let's see. So we'll go for once upon a time. Once upon a time, that change in the society. You don't need to talk about, for example, you don't need to talk about. I'll just say you don't need to use all of the lines in the poem. Okay, so don't waste your time explaining the entire poem. If you take a what is it? Let's go with this example. Let's say The Bear by Anton Chekhov. Now, if they focus on only Popova's character only, if you write about Smirnov, that's wrong. So that's why I tell you, you don't have to mention everything. Okay? So don't mention everything in the novel. Don't repeat that. Then don't put headings and subheadings. You're not writing a newspaper article. Okay? You don't have to put subheadings. Popova's inconsistency. And you start writing your article. Don't write subheadings. Don't write headings also. The Bear by Anton Chekhov. Okay? Don't write that. Then, in one paragraph, try to focus on one main point. In your paragraph, the quotation is only about Jagan and Mali, and you put about Grace also. Do you miss Grace? You talk about Grace also. Jagan, Mali married Grace. Don't do that. You don't have to write about everything in one paragraph. Focus only on the extract. Okay? Don't use a full stanza as an extract. This is very important, children. When we look at your answers, 90% of your answer is extract. You have written only 1 or 2 lines. If you take Lambaru, you write an extract of 10 lines. Might as well write the entire story. 10 lines of an extract. Don't do that. Sometimes you write, I don't know how you have been told, but writing an entire stanza is wrong. Okay? A stanza, what is a stanza first of all?
Paragraph.
Yes. One. So normally poems are divided. The answer was not that clear, but yes. When we look at a poem, normally the poems are divided into sections of 4 lines. 4 lines. There are deviations, but mainly 4 lines. Don't write the entire stanza as an extract. How many lines? You can even take 3 lines. That's all right. But don't write the entire stanza. Okay? Then you can use either a dialogue or part of the narration. Like I said, dialogues use karana kiyala rule ekak naha. Okay? So you can use even narration. Okay? But like I said, if you're using a dialogue, make sure to put the 66 and 99, the speech marks. Okay? All right. Next. Okay. I have heard a lot of students. Actually, a lot of students ask this question. Listen. If the quotation from a prose fiction or drama that you want to use is too long, if the quotation is too long, what do? If the quotation is too long, you don't write the entire quotation. If you look at your the story from Nightingale, to write the entire quotation, you might as well attach that book that you have, your textbook, and come. Because that's easy, no? Like you don't have to write anything and attach the book and come. So if you want to use something long, listen, very important, listen, pay attention. She has formed, starting, I only want this part of that quotation. So she has formed, he said to himself, as he walked away through the group. After that, there are some unnecessary parts. I don't need this. So you can omit that, put 3 dots here, go to the next line, start with 3 dots, and write the rest of it. Did you understand? Listen to me one more time. If it's a long quotation, which takes about 10 lines, don't write it. You can only use about maximum 4 lines. Okay? Your quotation from, your extract from prose or fiction has to be maximum how many lines? Nobody was 4 lines, okay? Maximum 4 lines. If you are writing 10 lines, then you are an author. So I want only this part and I want this last part. She would not sacrifice herself for others. She thinks merely of music, and everybody knows that arts are selfish. So I want only that part. Is it clear? If you want to omit the part in the middle, what you do is you put 3 dots here, go to the next line, start with 3 dots, and continue the rest. Okay? All right. Next one. Like I said, this is something that I suggest, not a rule. None of these are actually rules. But I want to suggest something. When you are writing a dialogue, if you can write that person's name, it's nice actually. Okay. So, for example, if you are writing something that Smirnov said, you can write the name. Put what is this? Yeah, a colon. This is a colon, and you write the quotation. So, listen. Look at this. You put Smirnov colon, and you put the speech marks and write. Okay? Name, colon, speech mark, and you write it. Write the quotation. Is it clear? It's better if you can use the name. Children, everything that I am teaching you today is to make your answer stand out. When an examiner checks about 50 to 100 answers in a day, if everything is same, they don't want to even read the answer. Okay? That's why I'm telling you, do these things and make your answer different. That's the way to get an A. Okay? Alright, next one. Don't include big extracts inside your paragraph. Now listen. In the first part of the seminar, I told you about the format. Okay? The format. In that format, I explained you have to take one main extract. It is a must, children. It is a must. There must be one main extract. But imagine you want to add more words. Imagine you want to add more phrases. Those you can add in your paragraph. Inside your paragraph, you can add. But inside your paragraph, there can't be full quotations. Okay? Inside the paragraph, you write. You have decided to lock yourself inside, but you haven't forgotten to powder your face. That's an entire quotation. You can't write that in your paragraph. What can you write? You can write small things like, for example, I haven't put it. But for example, you can write softer sex. That's but one phrase. You can write, you are a boar, you are a bear. You can write that in your paragraph. Is it clear? Listen to me one more time. Your main extract can be 3 to 4 lines long. Within your paragraph also, you can have some references, but they have to be either words or small phrases. They can't be full sentences taking up to 2 to 3 lines. Is it clear? All right. Leave lines between paragraphs. Yes. So when I showed the format, in the format, children, Wherever I have left a space, you can leave a space. For example, you write your introduction, first paragraph, then leave a line and write the extract. After the extract also leave a line, write the next paragraph. So after that paragraph, the next extract, leave a line. So likewise, break down and separate the paragraphs. Okay. Those who are asking for the tune, joining online, it's there in the chat. Did everyone? I hope everyone who's joining online has the tune. Okay, we will send the PDFs one more time. There's a tune and another PDF. Wait, we'll send it one more time. Now, look at this one. You don't have to read it loud, but read it to yourself. What have I written in the brackets? Read it to yourself. Do not add any references in your introduction and conclusion. Not even a word. Okay? Don't add any reference from the work in your introduction and conclusion. That's a wrong structure. Okay? Is it clear? You can only include in the body paragraphs that you write. Okay? Next one. If you miss a few words in an extract, that is acceptable. But if your extract can't be found anywhere in your syllabus, then that's a problem. Okay? Because I see sometimes you create your own extracts out of your mind and you put and expect the examiner to accept it. Yeah, sometimes we have to go through the entire prose, the story, and somehow try to find. Sometimes also there's another problem. You write extracts and mention that someone else is saying this. For example, with the way that you write, it looks like Jagan has gone to America. Because you write an extract from Mali and mention Jagan's. Okay? So you have to be very careful. If you don't know, please don't write lies. Okay? If you don't know, please at least explain and come back home. If you can't remember extracts, you still have time. Okay? At least take the main things. Okay? You don't have to write, you don't have to study the entire novel. You don't have to study the entire prose. But always there's a theme, right? For example, the novel has a theme. Take the extracts that are related to the theme and study them. Okay? Please, especially when it comes to novel, I see a lot of you don't remember the extracts. This is not an open book test, so you have to keep them in mind. Okay. So like I said, if you miss one or two words, okay. For example, what is the heart of a bird compared to the heart of a man? There, if you say what is the heart of a bird compared to the heart of a human or man, if you exchange those words, all right. What is the heart of a zebra compared to the heart of a man? That's a huge problem. Okay, so don't write lies, please. Okay, then yeah, see, you won't get marks if your extract is a lie. If your extract is not from this earth, you won't get marks. Then the main extract should be at least 10 words long. Some of your extracts, listen, main extract should be at least 10 words long. Some of your extracts look something like this. Let's say, for example, wonderful woman. That's it. Refer to how Smirnov changed from the rude masculine character to a boy-like character. Your quotation is wonderful woman. That's it. Your main quotation. Not enough. You need to have at least 10 words in that main quotation. What I mean by main quotation? In the tune I gave the format here. This extract, this main extract you take should be at least minimum 10 words. Mataka thiyena wonderful woman vitara, so you write wonderful woman. Okay, so please stick to that. Okay, minimum 10 words. Then do not start. Listen, this is a very important thing, and I see a lot of you making mistakes in this. Only in stories you can start sentences with and, but, or, so, because. Only in poems you can use this. Only in stories you can use this. But what are you writing? Are you writing a story? You are writing an essay. Your essay can't start with these words. If you go to your tune, go to page 8 and 9, right in the middle. I have given some nice words you can use to start the sentence. Instead of starting with and, listen, I hope you are all paying attention, okay? Few more minutes and you will get a break. So please listen. If you want to start a sentence with and, don't do it. Instead, use words like in addition, additionally. Can you see there's a phrase that says addition? Okay? In addition, additionally, furthermore, moreover, similarly. These are similar to and, but don't use and. Why do I say don't use and? And, but, or, so, because. Grammatically, these are conjunctions. Conjunctions are there to be in the middle of a sentence, to connect two sentences in the middle. Okay? You can't use them at the beginning. I have seen you start the sentence with but. You have to start the sentence with words like however, nevertheless, nonetheless, in spite of. Okay? Clear? There are some good words here. Studying is your responsibility. Okay? So, not only that, children, come to the page 5. Starting from page 5, I have given a lot of vocabulary that you can use, because children, listen, when they say grammar, it's not only grammar, your language actually. Your language. If you use very simple words, your answer is not that great. Okay? So I have given verbs to show change, alter, accommodate, evolve, fluctuate. Use these words. Verbs to show increase, advance, exceed, extend, facilitate. Okay? So there are so many words that I believe you might find useful when you're writing an answer. So today onwards, if you are practicing, I'm sure you are practicing at home how to write essay answers. So if you are practicing, instead of the normal words you use, please try to use these. Okay? So study them. There's a lot I have given going up to page 9. All right. I'll quickly finish this. Then next one. Okay. So like I said, prepare the vocabularies and use some similar words, better words. Next one. Try to use better synonyms rather than simple vocabulary. That's why I have given. Lastly, try to finish an answer within 25 minutes. This is what I told you at the beginning. 25 minutes and take the last 5 minutes. Sometimes you don't know how to spell sleep when you go to the exam. Okay, your mind starts to malfunction and you write something else. I have seen. Another important thing, very important thing. Your answer must maintain only one tense. What are tenses, children? Are you hearing for the first time? What is meant by tenses? Tension. Tenses can attention. Tenses. Time. It shows time. Tell me some examples of tenses. Future tense. Now you can't write your essay answer with future tense because the book is already written. If you are writing future tense, then you are the author. So you can use only two tenses. What are the two tenses? Past and present. Okay. I see some of you start with past tense. The nightingale sacrificed her life and all of that. Then when you come to the last part, the professor's daughter refuses the red rose, and the red rose is thrown to the gutter. Starting from the past, and you are now in the story because you have brought it to the present. Now you are living in the story. You can't do that. If you start from past tense, use past tense. Okay? So maintain it. Check whether you have written the verbs correctly. That's why I tell you use the last 5 minutes. Children, use the last 5 minutes. Limit your answer to 25 minutes somehow and correct those grammar mistakes. If you start the answer with present tense, please maintain present tense throughout the essay. If you start with past tense, don't go into the story and leave the story. Please continue to write in past tense. Is everything clear? Okay? All right. Okay. Before I give you the break, I want you to go to this answer. You don't have to read the entire answer, but at least read one and a half pages at least. At least read 3 to 4 paragraphs. Read it to yourself. Don't read it loud. Read at least 3 to 4 paragraphs. Now read it to yourself and see how you should write your answers. Everyone joining online also, please, in the tune, go to page number 10. There's an exemplifier, an example answer about the bear. Please read at least 3 to 4 paragraphs and see how should the writing style be. If you don't understand what I have written there, then that's how you should be. You shouldn't let the examiner understand your answer. You have to use synonyms, you have to use better complex words. When the examiner can't understand your answer, they'll give you full marks. So put the examiner in trouble like that. Read and see how complex your answer must be. Okay? Okay, there's a question. If we finish the sentence of a paragraph in the beginning of a line, can we start the next paragraph from the line which is immediately after that, or should we leave a whole line after that? So if your paragraph ends, the last word by some unla ends in the next line. So can you start in the next paragraph? This is completely fine, but depends on your writing. Now some of you have incoherent size letters. So when you have B ends in the second line, please leave another whole line and start your paragraph. Why am I saying these things, children? You should have clarity. You have written like without any breaks. At the stretch, you have written. So in the middle of marking, the examiner will fall asleep because that looks like the Bhagavad Gita. Your answer. So try to separate as much as possible. Leave lines as much as possible. Give space. Let the words breathe. You have congested all the words. So let the words breathe like that. So it depends on your handwriting. The answer to your question depends on your handwriting. If you feel when you leave only that line, if you feel it's not clear, it looks messy, please leave another whole line. I hope I answered your question. In online crowd, if you have any questions, please send. Just read a few paragraphs. I'm going through that answer with you together. Just for now, read it. Yes, Shalika's question. Can we write how Toby? At first, she says to give an extra portion of oats to yes, oats. And at last, she says the horses want to have any oats at all. Yes, you can use it. But Shalika, I think this actually doesn't come as a very important incident, not a main incident. So what you can do is, without using an extract or without using a quotation, you can show how Popova falls in love. Popova at the end says, "Don't go away." She tells Smirnov not to go away. In that case, what you can do is in your paragraph, not as the main extract, Shalika, not as the main extract. In your paragraph, what you can do is you can mention at last how she changed her advice from giving extra oats to not giving any oats at all. So you can show how she changes the behavior, how she changes the decision. That can be done. So that is all right, but it's not very significant for you to take it as a main extract. So in the paragraph, you can describe that too. That's inconsistent. have read 4 paragraphs very quickly. I can see that you are talking because you're done. Tell me how many of you have learned the drama The Bear at school? Is there anyone who hasn't learned the drama yet? No? Wait, we did the drama in class, right? Is there anyone who hasn't learned the drama The Bear? No, hasn't learned at all. You're doing exam this time. How about you? Are you doing exam in March? All right. So we are going to watch a movie. We are going to watch the drama after the break. The entire drama. Today I have a project, so why not have a movie time? So during your break, you can bring some popcorn, and we will watch the drama. Okay, so before you leave, let me show you just a small clip, which will be an introduction to the drama. All right. Shalini Jayaratra is asking, can we first write the analysis and then write the extract? There's a question, can we first write the analysis and then the extract? The thing is, the format that I have asked you to follow is what I have developed through my experience. So if I was to check your paper, if your analysis comes before the extract, it will be a bit difficult for me to understand, or like it will be a bit confusing. Okay, so maybe follow the order that I have mentioned and bring the extract first and then analyze. That's better. It's easier for you also. Okay, so don't write the analysis paragraph first and write the extract. I suggest, this is my suggestion, it's clear if you do the extract first and do the analysis later. Okay. All right. I hope the online, online people. Did I answer your question, Charlie? Okay. Do any of you have questions? All right. Is it because you didn't understand anything I told? Did you understand everything? Are there any questions that you face? Don't you have any questions that you face when you write essay answers? Huh? You never write essay answers. Then make a mark and take out. Listen to me. Hello. Hello. Ladies and gentlemen. Don't you come across any confusion or questions when you write essay answers? Like, especially when it comes to schools, don't you have a question about why you get low marks? Anyway, the school markings are tough, but trust me, oral marking is also tough. It's because this is English literature, okay? So they check your English also. So if this is associated with the language, that's why a lot of you might not score well. Other than that, are there anything that you learned which opposes what I taught? And do you have any confusions? Please clarify now. Okay. On the day before exam, don't send messages asking what should I do. So please clarify it now. I hope everything is clear. Okay, let's watch the video. I hope the online crowd can hear this.
locked herself in the house in the morning. Her servant, Luca, begins the play by begging Popova to stop mourning and step outside the estate. She ignores him, saying she promised her husband to always remember him. Their conversation is interrupted when Smirnov arrives and wishes to see Popova. Luca tells Smirnov to leave. He ignores Luca's requests and enters the dining room. Popova agrees to meet him. Smirnov explains to her that her late husband owes him a sum, 1,200 rubles, as a debt. Smirnov, a landowner, needs the money the same day to pay for a house mortgage due the next day. Popova has no cash, but promises to pay when her steward arrives. Smirnov gets angered by her refusal to pay it back and mocks the supposed mourning of her husband. Smirnov decides that he will not leave the estate until his debts are paid off. He and Popova engage in another argument when he begins shouting at the servant to fetch him kvass, or any alcoholic drink. The argument turns into a debate about true love according to the different genders. Smirnov claims that women can only love a lapdog, whereas Popova asserts that she loved her husband deeply despite his disrespect. The argument escalates into another loud dispute about settling the debt. During this argument, Popova insults Smirnov by calling him a boor. Smirnov, insulted, calls for a duel, not caring that Popova is a woman. Popova, in turn, enthusiastically agrees and goes off to get a pair of guns her husband owned. Luca overhears, gets scared for his mistress, and seeks help to end their feud before anyone gets hurt. Meanwhile, Smirnov admires Popova's audacity and realizes he's fallen in love with her and her dimpled cheeks. When Popova returns with the pistols, Smirnov makes his love confession. Popova wavers between rejecting him and urging him to stay. In the end, the two get close and kiss each other, just as Luca returns with the gardener and coachman.
Don't be sad that I excluded the kiss. Yes, my class might get censored, so I can't do the kiss. So anyway, this drama is what I have given as an example question and an answer. We will watch the drama after the break. So you can take a break of about 20 minutes. Okay? 20 minutes and be back. Sitting with Nisha. You want to go you are. These two are making love to each other in the past. I can't. So Okay, children. So in your tute, you can see I have given an example answer on page 10. So I even showed you the introductory video. Okay. I even showed you an introductory video of The Bear by Annie Checo. So we are going to watch the drama, which is about 30 minutes. It's a drama performed on stage. Okay. So we'll watch that. I hope people who are joining online, I hope you can hear. Who are joining online, if you can't hear, please let me know.
It's just not right, Mrs. It's not falling to pieces.
You have to be quiet.
The cook and the maid have gone bad. The trees are in the sunshine and joy. He's not here. He's out there. I'm catching some bird.
Wait a second. You can't hear properly. Yeah?
It's just not right, Mrs. You let yourself fall to pieces. The cook and the maid have gone bad with him. Every living creatures are in the sunshine and joy. He's not here. No. He's out there trying to catch himself a bird. And here you sit all day off the house like some kind of blood. That's no blood. Listen to what
Still not clear.
Listen to what I'm saying now. It's been a whole year since you left the house.
I shall never leave this premises.
The cook and the maid have gone very
You will have to be a little quiet. Okay? This is the maximum sound we can get. So try to be quiet and
It's just not right, Mrs. You let yourself fall to pieces. The cook and the maid have gone very wicked. Very living creatures under the sunshine enjoying themselves. He's out there trying to catch himself a bird. And here you sit all day around the house like some kind of fun. That's no fun. Listen to what I'm saying now. It's been a whole year since you left the house.
I shall never leave this house. Why should I? My life is over. He's dead and buried, and so am I, dead and buried with his soul. We're both dead.
Then like your husband's dead. Well, God bless him. You've mourned him good and proper. Now it's time to move on. Don't sit there.
hold on.
It's just not right, Mrs. You let yourself fall.
I don't think cautious sometimes. That's the thing.
It's just not right, Mrs. You let yourself fall to pieces. The cook and the maid have gone very wicked. Creatures under the sunshine enjoying themselves. It's out there trying to catch yourself a bird. And here you you said, oh, they bought the house, that's no problem. Listen to what I'm saying, now, it's been a whole year since you left the house.
I shall never leave this. Why should I? My life is over. He's dead and buried, and so am I dead and buried.
Your husband's dead. God bless him. You've mourned him good and proper. Now it's time to move on. Don't sit there writing back in a fire. My old lady died too. Why? Right for a month. Months ago, spiders in the dark. They did make those kind of photos. There's a regiment under the next building. And there's a tent. The band is a concert. Oh, Miss Davis, look at yourself. Some are precious, like you're so beautiful. You go out and enjoy life. Wait 10 years from now, you'll want to go swarming after those up on the system. You'll wait till the lake.
I was asking you never to talk to me like that again. When my husband died, my whole soul meaningful. You know that. I may look like I'm alive, but I don't. I swore I'd shut myself up here and wear black for the I did not lose them, and I will. No, he treated me badly. Don't have to tell me that. Me. But I intend to be faithful to the greater and show him what real love means.
There's just a. You better take it off. Hundreds of coffee rolls. You say what is? When you say what's the matter?
Remember how Randy looked in that salad? You make sure to get extra with it. Now, who's that? You make sure you tell whoever that is that I'm not at home to anyone.
What did you say?
You see what real love means. I love you last long night. You see what a good girl I am. What a faithful wife. I swore to live life, faithful to you the day I died on you. Shame. Wait.
There's so many. Wait, wait. Just want to listen. He says it's important.
That's it. I've seen no one.
I know, but he's kind of a wild man. He started shouting and he pushed his way into the house. He's in the dining room.
That's all right. Really nervous. Why can't you just leave me alone?
Hey, that fuck right let me out of here. Get me out.
Madam, let me introduce myself. Grigory Stepanovich Smirnov, field artillery, retired. I own a place over in the next county. Sorry to disturb you, but this is important. I had the pleasure of knowing your late husband, and as it happens, he left me two IOUs. The total comes to 1,200 rubles. Now, I have a mortgage payment tomorrow, and I have to ask the man to pay up. I'm clear with the money. I certainly went up a little bit. please.
Make sure to begin. It's my husband. But you have to explain.
I don't think I'm mortgage payment tomorrow, they'll foreclose on my property. I'll lose my shirt. No, you did not.
Said I cannot pay you.
I can't wait till the day after tomorrow.
Well, what can I do? I don't have money. It means I can't pay you.
What?
I mean,
Yes. Well, excuse me, you should know I'm desperate for money. I was up at dawn yesterday and rode around to everyone I know who owes me money and not a one of them came across. I run in more circles with a hunting dog. Spent the night in some godforsaken hotel. 50 miles from home. Expecting a cake, and what do I get? A sad mood. And what kind of mood do you think that would be?
I'm making myself hurt. I have no money.
Well, I came to see you, not your manager. What the hell? Excuse my language. But I want to be your manager.
Language. No, but I'll go back to the list. I will give you money.
What's that got to do with me? I have a mortgage payment. Run around banging my head into a brick wall. I go see Bruce is not home. I go see her saying she hides. I go see Corinthians to get into a fight, like 10 years from out the window. I go see somebody sick. As a sandwich. You're a one of the baby. What a bunch of deadbeats. It's only because I'm such a soft touch. You must suffer for a hard story. You know, it's look at me, I'm quivering, man. Bad enough to get nasty. Bad enough to blow up the world. Hey, you! Oh, no. I wasn't water. Or better yet, a beer. Listen, so desperate for money, is ready to end himself, but she can't pay it because it's too very much. She's no condition to talk about money. Talk about medical logic. This is why I'm like hate talking. I'd rather light a campfire on a park and talk to a boy. So, all I have to do is see one of those romantic, which is funny. My leg muscles start cramping up. I want to start shouting for help. This is sick. You can't perceive anyone. She can't receive anybody. Well, that's fine. She doesn't have to receive me. I just have to get it. That's all. She's sick for a week. I stay here for a week. She's sick for a year. I stay here for a year. I want my money, lady. Your black dress and your dimples don't impress me. See, like a dimples before. Say no. I need some horses. They're not leaving just yet. But stay right here. And tell them in the stable to give my horses some oats. Watch it, put it into better horse place stables again. But just wait till I get the. Jesus, what is this? Trying to stay over here, nobody wants to pay me, and now I've got to deal with some wacky widow and her move. Hey, look! Shut up, mess. Sir, one of my goals, I am the only person. My pockets. I'm filling my stomach no longer. Not too bad, I guess. Look, I'm quitting, man. Then I can blow up the world. Hey, no!
My dear sir, it's so long in the chair. I cannot stand shouting. I was earnestly begging to respect my solitude. I'm not here at the moment. My manager is back from town.
And I also told you in no uncertain terms that I need my money today. If you don't pay me today, I might as well hang myself by the day after
What
tomorrow.
can I do?
Stay quiet. Don't you believe that I don't want to be tomorrow? You think I'm joking?
I asked you not to shout. You are not going to say
I
more.
didn't ask you about staying. What I asked you was, don't you believe that I have a mortgage paying for me tomorrow?
Have the face really kind of behavior.
You said no about it.
Surely not. You are ill-mannered and vulgar. No gentleman would behave like this.
Only speaking from French. What about you? Talk about it to know where you would just to pay my money. Oh, no. Oh, you are we have had it. Oh, my, I was so sorry. It's not funny. I don't know that you I bought 3 jewels the other day. I walked down Broadway in 9 weeks and walked down East there. Oh, I used to think they were. Brushes on them, sweet talk, cast my pearls before them. Well, with my bills, falling love, suffer, selling the movement, freeze up, melted to bottles, I did it all. I could rattle on for hours about women's rights, that's what I like. But not anymore. No, sir, no, thank you very much. No more wool over my eyes, I've had it. Dark eyes, red lips, dimples in the cheeks, movement, satisfaction, no, sir. I wouldn't give you 2 cents for any of it now. Wasn't common accepted, of course. Affected, gossipy, hateful, liars, all their own. Angry, petty, merciless, they get it straight. As for this part here, but excuse my frankness, a sparrow has 10 times the brain than anything else I skirt. Take a good look at any one of these romantic pictures. Petticoats and hot hair, divine transports, the whole works. Then take a look at her soul, pure crocodile. And the worst part is, this crocodile thinks she has a monopoly of the tender emotion of love. God damn it! Has any woman ever known to love anything except a love? And to love, what she can do is slither and whine. A man in love suffers and sacrifices. The love shows up how she swishes her skirt and gets a firm grip on your nose. You're a woman, of course, but at least you know what I'm talking about. What woman's nature is like. Tell me honestly. Have you ever seen a woman who was faithful to it? No, you haven't.
faithful and true in love that wants to wed you, and you, how dare you say that? Faithful and true. All the men in your I love him passionately, with all my heart and soul, even the way he felt sensitive or can't love. I gave him the peace of my heart, happiness, my money. I lived and breathed for him. I worshipped him. He was my idol. This best thing I possible meant betrayed me at the worst possible. He cheated on me every chance he got. After he died, I found boxes and boxes of love letters hidden in his desk. And when he was alive, he leaves them alone for weeks on end. And he flipped it up to me right in front of me. He deceived me. He spent all my money. And he laughed at me when I objected. And despite everything, I loved him. And I was faithful to him. Even though he is dead, I am faithful and unsure. I have buried myself in these four walls, where I shall mourn him forever. I shall wear black till the day.
Don't make me laugh. How dumb do you think I am? I know exactly why you wore only that Mardi Gras outfit while you buried yourself in the deep wells. Of course. It's all so romantic, so mysterious. You're waiting for some shaker-arm lieutenant to come riding by, or some say on the street with a bad complexion, and you look out the window and say, "Oh, here comes the mysterious woman who loved her husband so much she buried herself within four walls." I know all about your little games.
How can you suggest anything of the kind?
You buried yourself alive, but you didn't forget to powder your nose.
How dare you speak to me like this?
Don't yell at me, I'm not your manager. But I'm a man, not a woman, and I must be calling a spade a spade. Stop.
I'm not chatting to you, and I'm completely alone and get out of here.
Give me my money or what?
I will not pay you any money.
Oh, you.
I will not. You will not see one red cent from me. Now please go away.
I want such a pleasure of the even your constructive analysis. Please stop making scenes with my gender. I hate that.
Leave. What you do? Please go away. You're so cute. You have nothing. Please show this gentleman.
Please, sir, please. The lady asked you to, she doesn't. Hey, shut up! That's all. I think I talked down out of you.
Bear, vulgar bear, monster, you.
What did you call me?
I said you were a bear.
And just who said you could insult me like that?
That's right. I am insulting you. What of it? You think I'm afraid of you?
You think just because you're some sort of romantic fairy that gives you the right to insult me with impunity, is that it? Oh, no. This is a matter for the field of honor. I choose weapons.
Just because you think you have fake fists and a bull neck, you think I'm afraid of you? You
To the field of honor. Nobody insults me like that, not even a woman. Because
bear.
by the time you get old prejudices about only men needing to defend themselves on the field of honor. It's the quality you want, but it's the quality you get. I challenge you to a duel. Right this minute. Right this minute.
Right this minute. My husband has a business. Wait, are you aware of them? Oh, go. No, pleasure. Thank you.
I'll shoot like a silly dog. Or I'm saying, I don't care. She is a little sense. Equality of the sexes. No, flash. Her eyes were flashing fire. Except that when she replied, go away.
Here are crystals. But before we begin, how many you today?
Well, you see, there are several different ways of that. They've got some more to it. Actually, oh, that's the way. Cool, slow, careful.
You shouldn't shoot into it. Let's go outside.
All right, let's go. Only I warn you, I intend to shoot in the air.
Oh, that's the last straw. Why? Are you scared? Is that it? Ah, that's it. Oh, no, no, no. You don't get out of this so easily. I will not rest until I can fool that head I hate so. Are you a coward?
That's it. I'm out.
You're lying. Why don't you want to fight?
Because I like you.
You're telling me. Just go.
I was raising myself until just a minute ago. Well, well, the fact is, nothing like this ever happened to me. Well, is it my fault if I like you? I love you. Understand anything?
Get away from me. I hate you.
Never seen anything like her in my entire life. I'm just I'm covered in mousetrap.
Get away from me. I'll shoot.
No, I hate you. You have no idea what a pleasure it would be to die with your beautiful eyes upon me. To die from a gun in your simple little hand. You better think so fast and decide right away, because once I leave here, we'll never see each other again. Make up your mind. I come from a good family, I had so I put this to a point in the air, two pieces. I've got the best horses in this.
Mary, I intend to shoot you on the field of honor. On the field of honor.
Out of my mind. I will love like a schoolboy. I love you. I love you like I've never loved anyone before. I will tell women, now I will tell me that I never loved anyone. I need to tell you, children, for this sugar, I'm on my knees like a goat, and I'm asking for your hand. I've been in love for 6 years. I swore I never would have given something Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. I can just go. No, I mean, like. No, go away, I hate you. Sorry, I'll be so mad. My fingers are swollen up from this damn thing. Go. Go back to my get out of here.
All right then. Goodbye.
Yes, just go. Where are you going? No, come on, man. Oh, my God. You stay away from me, stay away from me.
You were there? I fell in love with a schoolboy. Got down on my knees. I even got goosebumps. I love you. That's all I need. Unlove you. Tomorrow, I'll have to wait for this. What kind of name?
Hey, wait a minute, get your hands off me. I hate you, I want to fight, let me go.
Oh, my God.
So those of you who had never heard of this drama, even the ones who are doing A levels, if you haven't heard of this drama, then let's start praying because you are just about to do the exam. So if you haven't heard of the story, I hope you got an idea. I want you to move to page 10. Okay, move to page 10. This might not be that visible. I hope you can follow with the cue. All right. So I'm just going to take you through this answer just to show you the things, elements that I told you to have in your answer. Look at the answer. So I mentioned in the introduction, so you can see the structure here. There's the introduction. Now here I have actually written a very long answer. You might not be able to manage time to write an answer like this. This answer actually has 6 quotations, so you don't have to write a long answer like that. You can stick to 4 quotations. So there's the introduction. Then, like I said, the what is it? The extract. Then first paragraph, extract, next paragraph, likewise. And if you go to the last page, you can see the conclusion. There's a small mistake there. In the tube, there's a small mistake. Can you see in the last paragraph, everyone online and here, in the last paragraph, find this line that says it can be concluded. Can you find that line that says it can be concluded? Please draw a line there to show that it has to be the conclusion, okay? By mistake, I have put it together. The concluding paragraph starts from it can be concluded, but by mistake it's all together with the previous paragraph, okay? So in your answer, you have to have a, now this is the last paragraph. This paragraph explains this extract. There should be a conclusion separately, but unfortunately I haven't left the space here. So please mark it here, draw a line and mark. This has to be the beginning of the conclusion, okay? So your conclusion starts from there. So if you compare the other paragraphs, you can see from this place onward that's a small paragraph compared to the other paragraphs. So your conclusion has to be smaller than the other paragraphs, okay? So here, when you go back to the first paragraph, okay? So I have told you first write about the author. So I mentioned a little bit about the author. Admired for the distinctive style of intertwining tragedy with comedy, the Russian playwright Anton Chekhov has effectively contributed to the discipline of literature in numerous ways. Then I have started the I'll take a moment. Then I have told you to use the title of the work. See, this comedic play, The Bear, humorously reveals, and I have given the theme, inconsistencies and contradictions inherent in human nature. Then after that, I have described that theme. Chekhov explores how emotional reactions and personal behavior often contradict societal expectations or social expectations. Then, what did I say? Context, plot summary. In the play, we see the dramatic shift in the behavior of the main characters, Smirnov and Popova. Okay? And look at the last line, reference to the question. What is the question? Throws light upon human inconsistency regardless of gender. Look at the last line of the introduction. Their contrasting emotional states and actions highlight human inconsistency, demonstrating that neither gender is immune to such contradictions. Immune means you're safe from something. You have an immunity system in your body. Yes, that's right. You have an immunity system in your body, and that immunity system keeps you safe from what? Safe from the government. Safe from diseases. That's right. Okay. So just like that, when it says no gender is immune from contradictions, what does that mean? No gender is safe. We are all subjected to inconsistency and contradiction. After that, first extract and see. I have described the context, the situation a little bit, but the next part goes on as an analysis. Look at this. At the initial stages of the play, Popova is portrayed as a woman overcome with grief for her deceased husband, whom she claims to have loved deeply. She vows never to see another man again and to live a life of mourning and solitude. This extreme devotion to her late husband seems like an unwavering solemn choice. Solemn means you're not going to change, it's like a promise. It could also suggest that Popova was led to resort to this life. Do you see in any part of this answer me describing the entire story? No. Your ability to analyze something deeply is the only way that will guarantee you an A for your exam. Okay? You have to see what others don't see. Now, listen to this. In this drama, she is shown as a woman who's mourning for the death of her husband. She's crying and saying her husband has cheated on her. Okay, she found out later on some love letters. Okay, then she says, "You cheated on me, but I'm going to be faithful to you till the end." Okay, so when she says that, there's another side to it. Okay, now if a woman's husband actually dies, if she goes out and have fun the next day, what will the society say? The husband died today, you find that a party next day. That will be a problem in the society, right? So this also shows that Popova may be trying to conform or abide, adjust to what the society expects. Okay? So you can mention that too. That's what I mentioned. Then listen to this. This is talking about inconsistency. So you have to show the inconsistency. Although having taken a vow to persist in mourning for the death of her husband, Popova does not refrain from exposing the betrayal she endured during the marriage. Did you see the drama? When Luca goes away, what did she do? She came to the statue of, what's the name of those who are doing honors? What's the name of Popova's husband? Nikolai. She comes to the statue of Nikolai and shouts at him, saying that he cheated on her. So see, she's crying and saying that she will never see another man, but at the same time, she's exposing that he was a cheater. Do you see the inconsistency? Inconsistent means you have change in behavior. What you say is not what you do, right? Like a lot of us. Okay, sir. Look at this one. I suggest, this is a suggestion. You can try this. Not in the introduction, I have told you to refer to the question, but in your paragraphs, in the body paragraphs, mention the keywords. What are the keywords? Human inconsistencies are apparent regardless of the gender. Okay? So see the last line of this paragraph. Such conflicting ways of behavior set a perfect example for the reader of the inconsistencies and dissimulations rooted in humans. Inconsistency, dissimulation, same thing. Dissimulation, sorry. So, do you see, I have referred to the keywords one more time. Why am I saying this? When I read some of your answers, you start with human inconsistencies and you talk about something else in the end. Okay? You start with the, let's say, to talk about sacrificial love. Let's say the question is only about sacrificial love. You start with sacrificial love and you end with materialistic love. So you can't be like that. And also, if you use that keyword, trust me, you will get marks. Because when we look at your paper, every time we see those keywords, we get reminded, okay, you are on the right track. Your answer is relevant to the question. Okay? Now, story what happens is you will not get marks. Okay? Sometimes they might not even read the rest of the answer. That happens. Okay? If it seems very relevant, they might not even read the answer properly. So what did I say? Repeat the keywords throughout your answer. In this question, human inconsistency and both genders are subjected to that, must be repeated. Okay? So if you see my answer, you will see in every paragraph, the last line talks about the question again. Okay? Okay, then the next one. And another thing, I told you to use at least 4 extracts. Normally in questions, you can find two sides to that particular question. Normally, not always. If you can find two sides to a question, for example, traditionalism and modernity, balance it. Use two quotations to explain traditionalism, use two for modernity. Then your answer is well balanced. Likewise, I have used here 3 dialogues from Popova and 3 dialogues from Smirnov. Okay? Why? There are two sides, genders. Okay? Other than that, and do you see the size of the extracts that I have taken? They're not too long, not too short also. Okay. Okay. There's one question. This is about vendor of sweets. Can we use the fact that Jagan, when he wanted to find out if Mali was taking money, he checked the lock secretly? Yes. So it's this person is asking about Jagan's cover nature and his inability to confront. That is correct. That example is correct. Not only that, when Mali said that he can't go to college, Jagan was holding Mali in his mind but didn't say it out loud. Okay, so that shows he's not having enough strength to confront. That's a good example. You can talk about his especially when it comes to Mali, he was not able to confront Mali. Then, someone has asked, isn't it possible to use 3 quotations? You can use 3 quotations, yes. This is just a suggested structure. Don't use less than that, that will not be very acceptable. You can use 3 quotations, but make sure at least your analysis is longer. Do you understand? If you are using only 3 quotations, make sure your paragraphs are a little bit longer. Okay? So, yeah. Then, yes, there's another question. Can't we write quotations in the middle of the paragraph? So I explained this in the morning. You can't write full quotations. If you look at this answer, in this I have taken these main extracts. These main extracts can't be in the middle of your paragraph. What did I say now? What can't be in the middle of your paragraph? That's right. An entire extract like this can't be in the middle of your paragraph. So what can be in the middle of your paragraph? Words or small phrases. Small phrases are not 10-word long sentences, okay? Small phrases are only 3 to 4 words. That's it. Okay? So in the middle of your paragraph, you can't have extracts. You can have 3 to 4 words, phrases likewise. Okay? If you look at this answer, go to paragraph 4. Sorry, paragraph 5. That is right after the quotation, can't even see one of those poetic creatures. There, can you see in my paragraph, I have used the word poetic creatures. In the paragraph, there's the word poetic creatures. So that you can do. You can insert words like that. Then turn to the next page. Turn to the next page. Now don't get it confused. In that first paragraph, I have repeated the quotation. Repeated the quotation just to explain it. Okay? Same quotation has been repeated. That you can do. Now imagine you write an extract separately and you explain it. So while you are explaining, if you want to repeat that extract in your paragraph, that's completely fine. You write an extract and you insert another big extract in your paragraph, that's wrong. I hope it's clear. Okay? And also children, you have to understand the inconsistency here. What is Popova's inconsistency? What does she look like at the beginning? A very weak woman who is crying, who is mourning, uh, who is not, I don't want to say it's typical, who is like how society views women. We are always crying and we are always sentimental, emotional, and all that. Cry babies, like that. So that that's what society views for women as. Don't say anything. There's more women in the class than men. So what is it? So Popova is it? No, but truly, that's what practical society is about. Okay. Another thing is you can refer to the share the job with us. You can refer to practical examples. Okay. Practically in nature, women are behaved like that. Okay. They should be staying home. They should be soft. They should be sentimental and all of that. Nobody expects a woman to have a pistol, right? That's the inconsistency. That's when Popova changed. If you don't understand the inconsistency and you write the same thing, then it's wrong. You have to show the difference. That's Manav. How does he change? How is he in the beginning? He's very strong. Have you heard of the word masculine? What does it mean? Strong, that male character, masculine. So he's shown as a very masculine man. He's shouting. That's why Popova calls him a bear, because he's acting wild, like a wild animal. So that's you have to show that is how men are viewed in the society. We look at men like they are bears, right? So the title itself suggests that, and you can relate that to it. Okay, that is how Smirnov looks like. How about towards the end? Towards the end, it's not Popova who's crying, it's Smirnov, right? At the end, he wants to win the love of Popova, so he becomes a child, getting down on his knees. He has a debt to pay tomorrow. He forgets the debt. All of that. So that's the inconsistency. Is it clear? Okay. Because of time, I want to move to the next activity. You're going to write an answer in the class today. We'll give it a try, Why not? So, who has learned the poem? No, tell me who hasn't learned the poem Richard Cory? The 40 people. So the 40 people haven't learned with Richard Cory. Okay. I'm going to show you just a small clip that gives a small introduction to what this poem is about. Okay. After that introduction, I'll quickly take you through the poem. Okay. And we will try to write a small answer, essay answer. Okay. By whenever I'm not going to check, so you can write whatever you want. But we'll first watch this video.
He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean favored and imperially slim.
Wait. Listen.
Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean favored and imperially slim. He was always quietly arrayed, and he was always human when he talked. But still he fluttered pulses when he said, "Good morning." And he glittered when he walked.
Wait a second.
Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean favored and imperially slim. And he was always quietly arrayed, and he was always human when he talked. But still he fluttered pulses when he said, "Good morning." And he glittered when he walked.
This is problem with the video. But you can hear.
And he was rich, yes, richer than a king, and admirably schooled in every grace. In fine, we thought that he was everything to make us wish that we were in his place. So on we worked, waited for the light, and whipped out the meat, cursed the bread, and Richard Cory, one calm summer night, went home, put a book through his head.
Sorry, that video had some issue, but I hope you heard the audio. Let me show you the poem. Okay. So for those of you who know and for those of you who don't know, let's look at the poem. Richard Cory by Edwin Arlington Robinson. Okay. So this author had talked about, this relates to issues that people deal and that society often don't know. This is actually a very practical poem. Okay. So let's look at the first stanza. Whenever Richard Cory, notice his name is Richard and he is a very rich person. Okay. So there's a purpose they are using. Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. So who is speaking here? People on the pavement. He was a gentleman from soul to crown. Where's soul? From the legs. This is not the soul, S-O-U-L soul. This is the sole of your feet. From the soul to the crown, from the legs to his head, he was a gentleman. Clean, favored, and imperially slim. Imperially means like, the model line slim. He was like a model. So clean, favored. He was very neat. He was very well organized. Okay. Then listen. You have to write an answer on this. And also, children, this poem is and now there's a high chance that a poem like this might come to your exam. The people who are doing 17, the people who are doing O-levels this time. Okay, look at this. He was quietly arrayed. That means his behavior, the way he talked, it was very quiet, polite. Okay, and he was always human when he talked. Human means someone who involves emotions when he talked. Okay, so when he says good morning, there's an emotion. Become good morning here and so he's very sentimental, emotional. But still he fluttered pulses when he said good morning and he glittered when he walked. Fluttered pulses. Fluttered means skip. He makes people's heartbeat skip when he speaks. So when he says good morning, a heartbeat skips and the person dies on the spot. So the heartbeat skips. What does it mean? Making someone's heart skip a beat? You should be doing this now. Don't you have someone who make your heart skip a beat? Heart skip a beat. Valentine's is coming, children, and you don't know this. Okay, I see a lot of you being alone on the Valentine's Day. O-level is coming, so Valentine is cancelled this year. Okay. That is true, but very sad. Okay, so listen. He makes people's hearts skip a beat means someone who is very attractive, someone who is can get people's attention, that type of thing. Even in love, we say that. When the other person speaks, we say, "Ah, my heart skipped a beat. My heart skipped a beat when I saw you." Love at first sight. How Nightingale fell in love with the student, like love at first sight. Okay, so here fluttered. Now some of you have misunderstood. He fluttered pulses. Some of you think that when Richard Corey says good morning, his heart is skipping a beat. He doesn't have a disease like that. Okay, so he's making others' heart skip a beat because the way that he talks, the way that he behaves, all of that. Okay. Then he glittered when he walked. Children, what type of technique is this? He glittered when he walked. Metaphor. What type of literary device is this? Or are you hearing literary devices for the first time in your life? What is it? Haven't you heard of? What is this? Hyperbole. What is the meaning of hyperbole? Exaggeration. Does anyone glitter when they walk? Can anyone glitter? If you can, please tell me. So this is hyperbole. One thing about this poem is there's a lot of hyperbole. There's a lot of places where they use hyperbole. Okay, listen please. If you are not sure about a quotation, there's a question. If you are not sure about a quotation, can you avoid it? Please avoid it without making the examiner laugh. Please avoid it if you can't remember, because sometimes there's a juggle in Nightingale and the rest. So please don't write wrong quotations and make people laugh. If you can't remember, avoid it. Which can we leave a line after paragraph? Yes, please leave lines. And but if I can't remember the quotes, but I can. Listen, good question. What if you can't remember the quotes and you just write the analysis? What if you can't remember the quotes and you just write the analysis? Might as well not write the essay at all. Why is it called appreciation of literary text? If you are writing just the analysis, you have to tell them you are analyzing this part. You analyze part by part. That's why we included extract. extracts. I don't know what that is. So you have to study extracts. This is not an open book test, so you have to remember. Okay? We could have just given you analysis. No need of a novel. So there's no way out. You have to remember extracts. Okay? Like I said, at least 3 extracts must be there in your answer. And the person is asking if we will get marks. You will lose marks for content and organization. Okay? You will lose marks for content and organization if you don't have extracts. Normally, an answer without extracts will fall in the range of 6 or 7 marks only. Okay? So remember that. Use extracts. Then, can we connect real life situations for philosophical ideas in essay answers? For example, if we discuss Sue and yours relationship, can we say that life is like a coin with a one? There's no virtue or love is shown. Explain how only should have this Listen, there's a question. Can we use real life examples or real life practical philosophical ideas? Yes, you can use. Don't make your entire essay about a philosophical idea. Now, what is it? When you think about Sue's and Yo-Yo's marriage, don't start talking about divorce rates in USA. So don't make it about the world, but please include practical examples. You can say that even today in the society, we can see that outside influence can actually affect a marriage. Okay? So please, you can refer to practical examples. Include practical examples, include philosophical ideas, but don't make it a big part of your answer. And there's another one. He has asked. Listen, children. How only Sue's love is selfless, while Yo-Yo does not fully understand. Why do we say Sue's love is selfless and Yo-Yo's love we don't talk about it as selfless? How can you explain that? Who can weave the symbolic? How do you know she's selfless? Did she earn money from it? She gave it away to Yo-Yo for him to earn money. Will we give? That is not selfless, that is selfish. You keep your things to yourself, that is selfish. And the other thing is, did Yo-Yo do a job? No. He didn't care about taking care of Sue financially. Financially, he didn't take care of Sue. Okay? He depended on Sue for finances. So, who is actually showing selfless love? It is Sue. Okay? And also the last thing. Yo-Yo changed with societal influence. Okay? That doesn't happen if you are selfless. Okay? If the love was selfless, they won't change and they won't betray. That's why there are so many characteristics in Yo-Yo that show he's not selfless. Children, please listen to these questions because you all have understood the lesson very well, but there are some people who have questions. Listen, can we get above 10 marks for an essay if you don't have extracts? If the examiner is someone who is really good, someone who is in a good mood to give you marks, there's a chance that you might get 10. But most of these examiners are fed up. After taking 50 to 100 papers a day, they don't want to give you marks. So my advice is, if you are thinking of writing an essay without extracts, don't even think about it. Might as well sleep that half an hour during the exam. Don't write answers without extracts. Please study now. If you don't remember, don't even think about it. If you don't remember, start now. You're still not late. Okay? You're still not late. Start now and study the extracts. Okay? Please do. You need extracts. Listen, I answered this question in the morning also. What if we can't remember the exact words? Listen, what if you can't remember the exact words? I told you, if you have missed or misplaced one or two words, just a few words, that is completely fine. Okay, that is acceptable. For example, if your quotation still has that idea, if it still has that idea, then okay. For example, when Smirnov said, I don't care about the soccer sex, if your words are different but still keep right, not entirely, but few words are missing, still give the idea, okay. But if it's something completely different, out of the box, out of the book, then not acceptable, okay? It is just as you writing no quotations. If you are to contrast some characteristics of two characters like Jagan and Mark, should we first finish about those characters? Listen, there's another question. If you are asked to contrast, if you are asked to show the difference between two characters, the question asks, should you do it parallelly? Compare this character with that character parallelly, or should you do it first for one character and then come to the other character? Anything is acceptable as long as you mention Jagan was not like Mali. When you are explaining, you have to mention. First of all, if you are talking only about Jagan, first if you are starting with Jagan, talk about his traditionality. Then when you write about Mali, mention that Jagan was not like this. Do you remember how Jagan got married? How did Jagan get married? Through Facebook. How did Jagan get married? It was a proposal. Listen, before marriage, Jagan didn't speak a single word with Ambika. It was only on the wedding day that they found a little time to speak. Okay? Before marriage, when they went to talk about the marriage, Jagan had only seen Ambika in a photo that had so many filters. That was so much edited. Okay? So, do you see how marriages were back then? How about Mali and Grace? Huh? Living together, not married, right? So, when you are comparing that, like I said, if you are first talking about Jagan's character, show Jagan's character. Then when you come to Mali's character, please mention Jagan was not like this. Okay? Jagan did not live together. You have to mention, then only the contrast comes. Or if you are comfortable, compare them at the same time. Write one quotation for Jagan, write one for Mali. Write one for Jagan, write one for Mali. Like that, parallelly. Okay? Jagan is very religious, Mali is not. Jagan eats only vegetables, Mali does not. So compare at the same time. Okay? Anything is acceptable as long as you show with your sentences that they are different. Okay? So in the chat, there are people who are answering the questions themselves. So someone had asked, can we get 10 marks without quotations? And someone in the chat has replied, no bro, sorry. Another question. Won't you get marks if you have written the quotations in the middle of the paragraph only? The thing is, we can't say you won't get marks because at least you have written some quotations in the middle of the paragraph. But the organization has a problem there. Okay? Your organization, listen, I'll let you go soon. The organization has a problem there because your extract is in the middle of the paragraph. Why I say to have the extract separately is that you highlight your organization, you highlight your flow. The main reason is to score for the organization of your answer and to make it very clear and not confusing. Okay, like I said, children, when these examiners check hundreds of papers a day, if your answer is very messy, all cluttered together, quotations they won't even take the effort to read your answer. So make sure you make it clear. So this question, there's no rule that you won't get marks. But I'm telling you, make sure you are perfecting every aspect of your answer. Make it clear, make it not confusing, make it very organized. So these are things that you need in your answer. Okay. So adding that will give you guaranteed marks. So you don't have to go home and worry. You don't have to worry. So you know you have done your job. Okay. Yes, you can connect real life situations. Listen, there's a question. So if you want to take two dialogues of cuisine, inventor of sweets, from two different places, not in the same place, two different places, can you use both of them in one extract and explain it in one paragraph? Listen, if you take both of them in one extract and explain in one paragraph, you won't have more to write. If you take separately, then you have two paragraphs. That means your answer becomes a bit longer. That advantage is there if you take them separately. But still, it won't be considered wrong. You can take two dialogues to compare and analyze in your paragraph. But the two dialogues can't be very long, okay? It has to be short. You can take it at once and explain in one paragraph. But what I suggest is if you explain it separately, then you have more to write. Okay? Listen, two questions. If your analysis is just one or two lines, I explain this. Your analysis has to be at least 10 to 12 lines. Listen again. Your analysis has to be one paragraph, has to be 10 to 12 lines. Why do I say this? Content carries 7 marks. Where is your content? In your analysis, not in the extract. The extract is organization rather than content. Content relies more on what you write. Okay, the 7 marks has more weight on what you write. So for content, you need to have an analysis of 10 to 12 lines. Don't write 1 to 2 lines, that's not enough. Then there's another question. That person uses a lot of quotations throughout the paragraphs here and there. I told you, some of the answers you write, 90% of your answer is extracts. Only 10% of your opinion. That is also wrong. If I have to give a percentage, I'd say it's like 20% is extracts, 80% is your work. Okay? 20% you give for extracts, 80% is your work. So remember, don't write quotations so much. So you have two sides. Some of you don't remember quotations at all. Some remember quotations too much and can't analyze, so they write the entire answer with extracts. Both are wrong. You have to balance like I have mentioned in the format. Okay. There are so many questions coming. You should have joined the online people. There's a chat going on. Okay, I have a doubt since I was grade 10. The thing is, my friend writes the same essay answer for a particular question. He got up to 4 pages, but I got only because his letters for that week. This is asking, he's asking about the size of your letters. Now remember, what is it? The format I mentioned. If your handwriting is big, you should understand you need to write more. Okay. So if your handwriting looks something like this size, then you will have to write at least what 4 sides. Okay. You will have to write 4 sides. You know sides, right? If your handwriting is smaller or like appropriate human size, then you can write 1, 2, and half. Okay, the normal human size. Then there are other categories where you will need a microscope to see what you have written. If you are falling under that category, I suggest that you change your handwriting first. Because if the examiner has to use a microscope to read your answer, no, it won't happen. So if your letters are too small, fix it now. If you are writing unclearly, fix it now. Okay? There's a disadvantage. It's a serious thing. There's a disadvantage if your handwriting is unclear. So please fix your handwriting. Okay, so if it's unclear, if your handwriting looks like Sanskrit or ancient Greek, please, yeah. If it looks like a doctor's prescription, exactly, nobody is going to read it. So fix your handwriting. If it's small, please make it proper. Yes. All right. Any other questions? So many questions are going in. I'll answer the questions also. Don't you have any questions? Huh? These questions are silly. Oh, we have like the wise people here. These smart people say these questions are silly. Okay, children. I'll quickly explain this and come to the questions. Children, come back to Richard Cory. Now, do you remember what I said? We are talking about a wealthy man. Okay? So it says, yes, he was rich. Yes, richer than a king. What is his technique? What is his technique? Hyperbole. Can anyone be richer than a king? No, this is exaggeration. Okay. And admirably schooled. Children, මෙතන schooled කියලා කියන්නේ he went to a school කියන එක නෙමෙයි. Admirably schooled means he is very well educated, disciplined. Okay, only it doesn't, you can't say only if you go to a school people become disciplined. People who go to school are. So anyway, the word here is an English word that we normally use to say someone is educated and disciplined. Okay, so there's a belief that if you go to a school, you are schooled. Then in fine we thought. What is the meaning of in fine? In fine. In fine. I am fine. What is in fine? Lastly, finally. Okay? In fine, finally. Finally we thought that he was everything to make us wish that we were in his place. Now these town people are thinking they were in his place. They want to be Richard Cory's place. That's how good of a character Richard Cory is. Okay? get you if you don't remember. You are safe. You are leaving after March. The one who went. Okay. So on we work. Listen. Now talking about the ordinary people. So on we work and waited for the light. Was this before Thomas Alva Edison invented light? Why are they waiting for light? What is meant by waiting for light? Waiting for good things, waiting for hope. Okay, we are working and isn't that the same with the practical society? People are working, hoping for a better future, hoping for change. Okay, then and realization. From now on, whoever talks has to come and sing a song. Okay, we'll see. I'm turning this class into a talent show. Okay? If we keep talking, everyone can come and sing. And went without the meat. Meat is considered as a luxurious item of food. Only the wealthy can afford meat. So these people don't eat meat. Okay? And curse the bread. Why would they curse the bread? That is right. The bread was very dull. It was a dull choice of food for them. So they cursed it. They hated it. And Richard Cory, one calm summer night. Calm summer night. Calm shows that there's peace. And look what it says. Went home and put a bullet through his head. Who put a bullet through his head? I thought you would say townspeople. So Richard Cory put a bullet through his head. See the contrast. On a calm night, when there was peace, when it was hard to guess that someone would kill themselves, Richard Cory put a bullet through his head. So you have seen these things, right? People who do these comedic characters, have you seen how they have committed suicide? People who make people laugh, we think that these people are happy. But we have heard stories of them committing suicide, just like that. Richard Cory had everything. But mentally, he was struggling. That's why he committed suicide. Is it clear? Okay. Everyone? Just at least try to write 1 or 2 paragraphs with time. I want you to move to page 13. Page 13. Look at the question. Please put a star to this question. It's important. Okay, now you tell me. The material I get you also don't have questions. So expect. How does Edwin Arlington Robinson use irony in Richard Cory to comment on the theme of appearances versus reality? What are the keywords in the question? Appearance versus reality. That's one thing. So you have to describe appearance versus reality. Richard Cory appeared to be someone who had everything, but in reality, he was struggling. Then there's another one. Irony. You have to explain this answer referring to irony. What is irony? No. What is irony? Huh? Yes, it's more like, listen, irony is you expect something, but something else happens. You expect Richard Cory to live a happy, peaceful life, but what happened in the end? He committed suicide. So what you expect didn't happen is what we call as irony. Okay? I'm going to keep the, I'll let you go at 1, don't worry. But just give it a try. Another thing, how you choose your extracts make a big difference. If you want, you can try this method. You get 10 minutes of extra time in your paper as a reading time. Okay? During that 10 minutes, I suggest After you have chosen the 4 questions, at least on a side of the paper, note the extracts you are going to choose. You are going to use. Okay. Extract you won't have, right? But at least write the words of the extract so that you will remember when you are writing. It is best if you can decide the extracts first and then write your answer. If you try to remember extracts while writing, you might write something that is out of the word, that doesn't relate to the question. As soon as you hear irony and appearance versus reality, can you see the 2 things first? Appearance and reality. Then irony is also there. So what can we use? Appearance. You have to use quotations that will describe Richard Cory's appearance. So you can use about 2 things because this entire thing describes Richard Cory's appearance. You can use about 2 things. Like for example, you can say he was a gentleman from soul to crown and clean favored and imperiously. So you can use that one. Okay. Still he fluttered pulses when he said good morning and he glittered. You can use that. If you use 2 quotations for that. Irony, what can you use? To say explain irony. What can you use? He finally thought that he was everything to make us wish that we were in his place. They wished that they were in his place. But after he put a bullet through his head, do they wish that they were in his place? No. So what they expected didn't happen. So that's irony. Last thing, reality. And Richard Cory, one calm summer night, went home and put a bullet through his head. Can you see the 4 extracts now? Okay, start writing. While you are writing, I am going to disturb you. Introduction, yes. At least at home, please give it a try. Give this question a try. And when you are trying, listen, those of you who are foreigners now, if you are trying any essay question, you have to time yourself and try. Okay? Now there's no time for you to write 30 minutes question in 1 hour. Okay? So now you have to time yourself. නැත්තම් exam එකට ගිහලා දෙකක් ලියලා ඉවරනකොට time go. Listen, Edwin Arlington Robinson is an American poet and he dealt with failed lives. He dealt a lot with failed lives. So you can remember failed lives and he is American. There's a question. Can you use literary techniques in the middle of your question? You can use literary techniques, but don't make it the subject of your answer. If the question says irony and appearance versus reality, don't make literary techniques the subject of your answer and start describing literary techniques only. But you can choose literary techniques. Now in this poem, there's a lot of hyperbole. Okay, because the appearance we see is very exaggerated. The pictures we see on Instagram are very exaggerated, right? They don't look like that in real life. So exaggeration is there to show how people look at other people. Okay. Yes, when you're answering essay answers, highlight the key points, hash. focus on the union of two perfect people, but this one. How would because America could be their children, there were problems. They decided to go to focusing on America. Then you can also show how money that focusing. Hey. Listen, in your last term paper, you had this question about real marriage is about the union, not about the union of perfect people, but people who take turns to be strong to each other. How do you answer a question like that? You will have to answer the question by taking the two couples, Jagan and Ambika, Mali and Grace. But you can see Ambika's side is more of a very supportive person, but Jagan's side, he fails because he didn't listen to Ambika, he didn't throw the letter away, right? He didn't care, he didn't until the last moment. He didn't want to give aspirin to Ambika, right? So there were so many things that he didn't align with. So what happened there? Were they supportive? No, in that way they were not supportive. So you can say they are not perfect also. They have problems. But even those problems they would have avoided if they were supportive. Mali and Grace. Grace can be taken as someone who was very supportive to Mali. Just like Ambika. Ambika was also supportive. How was Grace supportive? Whose money did Mali spend? Grace. Grace's money. Once she ran out of money, he said, go back to America. Okay? So you can talk about how Grace was very supportive, but Mali was not that supportive from his end. So you can show they might have problems, they might have imperfections, but if they were supportive. So when answering a question like this, in the story, there's no perfect marriage. There's no perfect relationship. Both marriages and relationships fail. So from that, you can give an example. If they were supportive, it would have changed. Don't explain the whole story. Only focus on the important information that you need. Don't include 2-3 extracts in one paragraph because this is one extract. You focus on that. You can write a two extracts. Or you write one and in the next time write the other. But suppose this is another speech. And the idioms and phrases from the name. This one. Can you use idioms? And what are idioms? Idioms. Idioms. The phrase doesn't mean exactly what it says. The person has given this example, same feathers flock together. It doesn't mean exactly what it says. For example, I am in a tight spot. That doesn't mean a jeep is crushing me. Like in way. This means I am in a difficulty. Can you use these in your essay answer? Yes. You can use proverbs, you can use idioms, those are fine. But sparingly. You can use it once, you can use it twice, that's it. If every paragraph has a proverb, then that means you are a professor. Okay? So don't write proverbs and idioms in every paragraph. Just stick to one or two if you really need. Alright. Okay, so you want to go? Please write an answer. No. Please write an answer. Any questions before you leave? No? So for those of you who are doing honors, I wish you all the best. And follow this structure, follow the advices that I gave. Practice at home. Okay? Also, children, there will be one more seminar for vendor experience. I'll take you through the entire hour in one day on the 2nd of March. So please stay connected. I have a WhatsApp group also. Please join. I'll keep you updated about the time. In that seminar, I expect to give you summary of the entire hour, glossary, because you have a question where they ask the meanings of words. So I'm going to give you all the meanings of words from each chapter, and then at last we will also I have included extracts from each chapter. From 13 chapters, I have extracted quotations and I have listed them. So all those will be given to you on that day, and we will run through the novel on the 2nd of March. That's Sunday. I'll tell you the time. Okay? Huh? You want the novel? So all this time you didn't have the novel. Yes, you can go. Bye. Done. General. For example, let's say no, paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is like you take what I mean is you take a general idea and you write it as a general idea without moving words. So if you say, in my opinion, I believe, I think those are okay. Yes. If you use words like in the new type, if you use words like general, normal, like that, and you say people believe. Okay, that's all. Okay. Oh, yes. I think I answered all the questions. So those of you who need the recording, please send us a message. They have, so you all have our number, parallel number. So please send us a message and we will get to the recording. Recording is already. Thank you so much for joining.